everyone, it's Lainey. Welcome back, and welcome if you're new to another card video. Today I am only using an Amazon stamp and die set, and I'm saying an Amazon stamp and die set because it was very inexpensive, less than $10 for both, and well, because it was a set. But this is super cute and a fun birthday set. You've got a cake here, the cupcake we'll be working with today, some gifts, candles, a confetti stamp, and a couple sentiments. Make a wish, hooray, it's your day, a gift for you, and happy birthday to you. And here are the dies. I do have a happy birthday in here that did not come with the set, but I'm storing it together. But yeah, this is another Amazon buy as well. But let's just go ahead and dive in. I'm going to be using the cupcake today, like I said. So we need to get some stamping done. So I'm going to use my Misty for the stamping and bring in a little scrap piece here. And this is 110-pound cardstock. Just going to position my little cupcake, close the door, and let's get to stamping. Now, I was coloring this cupcake yesterday to test out the colors, and I stamped it twice, and it bled so bad. And I did give it ample time to dry, of course. So today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm only going to stamp it once, and I'm going to leave the stamp in here, and then I'll bring it back and stamp after I color. I've seen Bethany from Bethadilly do this before, and I'm going to do it for, like, she does it for more vibrancy sometimes, but I'm going to do it to see if we have less bleeding. And I don't know, I've never tried it before, but we will see how it works. But look at all the details of the cupcake. So cute. So like I said, leaving this stamp as so, and I'm going to set the cupcake aside and still give it a little bit of time for the ink to dry. And now I'm bringing in my panel along with some mint tape that I purchased from scrapbook.com. It's really low tack and repositionable. Oh, you know what? First, I want to cut this down to size. This is an A2 size panel, so it is measuring at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And recently I've been playing with smaller panels, and I think I like that visual a bit better. So let's go ahead and trim this down first. And I haven't finalized, let's turn this around. I haven't finalized my dimensions, so just bear with me for a second. So I just removed 1/4 off of one side, and now I'm going to cut this down to 5. So it's going to be measuring 4 by 5. And bring in my card base that's not folded down yet, just to use this as a reference. So I need to trim this down a bit more, and you'll be able to see you'll be able to see how much margin we have, obviously, at the end. Okay. And I think I want to remove a little bit more. So I think our final measurement is going to be 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. So let's see if this is kind of what I like. Yes, perfect. So quite a bit of margin there, but I really like how this is looking. So just changing things up. All right, so now we have our panel cut down to size, and now bringing back in the mint tape. And I also I'm going to be using the happy birthday stamp. So I want to position that and then position my tape, just so I have a reference point. And then I'm I'm wondering if I should actually just go ahead and stamp the sentiment, but I think this will be okay. So I'm going to remove the sentiment at this point, and let's pick this up. And I'm just going to hold it up as so to make sure that this is straight, because this line is important. Okay, it seems pretty straight. So now I'm just going to secure it to my glass mat. And I'm going to be using Memento Angel Pink today. It's a little dewdrop size. And bring in my blending brush. And this is very, very light, so I think I need to like kind of really build it up, but we'll see here. And now for kind of the scary part, because I don't want to come in too heavy. I want to be really, really light and kind of just make kind of like a circle, I guess. But I don't want the ink to go all over across to the end points. I want some space there, some white space. Okay, so just very soft, and then kind of trying to fan it out. Yeah, you can barely see it on the camera right now. It is very light, but you'll be able to see a little bit here in a minute. Starting at the base of the tape and then working my way up. Okay, so very light. And now I'm going to come in with Dots and Blossom Stencil Pack from Concord and Ninth. This is one of their newer products. And I'm going to use their circle one. And then bring in the mint tape again, of course, just to help secure our stencil here. Okay. And now I'm going to come in and really try to get this ink built up on this brush, and I'm going to come in with a heavier hand to add those accent pieces. Okay. Okay, so let's remove the stencil and see if I can pick it up. There we go. I think that that is good to go. And now we have our panel. Very carefully removing this tape. And now you can see the line. I saw this technique. I've seen this technique many times through Pinterest. I always go through Pinterest like every evening while I'm in bed trying to wind down and look at cards. And I just have always loved how they have masked off part of the panel and just had this straight, like really harsh, crisp line. And then just kind of, you know, ink blended a little bit. And then I added a stencil on top, of course. So I'm going to move this aside so it doesn't get messed up, because that is our final panel. And now I think it is time to do a bit of coloring. I'm using my Ohuhu markers from Amazon along with one of my tri-blend markers, which is 3 alcohol markers in one. It's got the light, the mid-tone, and the dark. I really love how these are just together for you, so you don't have to do any of like the guesswork of trying to find the different tones if you need them. And so what I'm going to be using today is pink and turquoise, and I pulled a lighter and a dark for both. And first off, I'm going to come in with my tri-blend, and this is the Fair Skin blend. And I'm going to use this for the actual cake part. And I have noticed, I mentioned in my last card video, the mermaid card video, which is by far like the cutest stinking card that I have made to date. I have to be very careful with the tri-blend, especially this one, because this one makes the Memento Tuxedo black ink smear or bleed a bit. Very weird, but I am very confident to say that it is the Fair Skin blend that really just likes to make the ink bleed and not look as clean. So to avoid that, I try to avoid the black ink, of course. So, okay, so we've got that lighter color there. I will darken the mid portion of the cupcake up in a little bit just to add some dimension for the cupcake. But now, let's see here. Let me go ahead and come in with my turquoise green light, and I'm going to come in with the fine tip and turn my work. And I'm just, I'm nervous because I don't want this to bleed. Actually, let me pull that cupcake and show you how bad it bled. Look at the icing on that cupcake. It's just a mess. So fingers crossed, but that is obviously the color scheme that I am going with. So what I want to do is just kind of outline the creases within the cupcake holder. I'm not sure what that's called at this moment. Kind of having a brain fart here. And then also applying the dark along the edge. Alrighty, and now coming in with my lighter color, which is Horizon Green, and I'm going to use my fine tip again. And I want to, so it is a very windy day in Colorado, and for those of you who know, I live in a fifth wheel toy hauler. This thing is heavy, it's 45 feet long, but if there's shaking going on, it is because my house is on wheels and it is windy. So I apologize. I'm trying to stop when the gust comes through because I can hear it because we have our awning out. But yeah, it is a windy, windy day. Okay, using my fine tip and just filling in the white space with this lighter color, which actually is seeming to dry out. So with that being said, I'm going to use my brush tip and fill in that white space. I will list the colors that I'm using today in the description box, along with all of the sets that I have. I believe I have 3 sets of the Ohuhu. And yeah, I just kind of went all out and just ordered all of the colors. And if I can remember, I will also link how I store them. Little storage shelf type thing that I found on Amazon. I really like it. Okay. So there's really no bleeding. There's a little bit down there, but better than my test coloring yesterday for sure. So now let me think. I'm going to bring in my darker shade of pink, Hollyhock, and I'm going to come in once again with the fine tip. And let's think here. I want to, because this is such a detailed icing, I'm going to work, in each section, and I'm just going to kind of feather out from the outline and then leave some white space so I can come in with that lighter color. Okay, just like so. And I think we're gonna go from the same direction with this little part. And then I'm gonna turn it around and then come from this other side here. And let me bring it closer so you can kind of see what I'm doing. And then I'm just going to kind of continue that process. And as I work my way up, so I'm gonna just start on the outside layer and feather that color. Okay, so I think that is good. So I'm going to continue the coloring process. I'm going to bring in pink, and let's use the brush tip and do the same thing with that lighter color. I am applying a little bit on the darker pink and then pulling that color over. So now we'll have a little bit of the mid-tone. And then it's also helping that darker pink blend a bit better. So now back to the cake batter part. I'm going to come back in with the fair skin tone or fair skin blend in the mid and just go kind of right above the line, like so. And like I said, I'm worried that it's going to start bleeding, so I'm just being very hesitant. All right, so I need to restamp it to, you know, enhance the outline, which is a personal preference. You definitely don't have to, but I really like the vibrancy of a double stamp. And, you know, it reminds me of a coloring book. Like, you know, like the coloring book has really thick lines. I just feel like it's, I don't know, it's just really nice to me. So fingers crossed, if this doesn't turn out, then, well, I don't really know. Okay. I'm going to leave it alone. That second stamp really darkened it up a bit, of course, but this is what we're working with. Not the best coloring because of that bleeding, but I'm just going to leave it alone for now. So going to remove that stamp real quick, clean off my door, and now should we go ahead and add our sentiment here. Just trying to make sure that it is centered within the white space. And it looks like that is a good spot because we're not going to cut this down and we've already cut it down. Let me make sure that that was straight as well. Yeah, okay. Sometimes I just need to hold things up for a better visual. So once again, coming in with my black ink, making sure my panel is nestled in that corner. Quick little press. Okay, and we are definitely going to double stamp once again. It needs it for sure. Okay. And voila. So nice. And there's like a little feathered mark. Crud. All right. I will fix that with a white pen. I'm sure there's like a little bit of like a featheredness on the Y. Must have been something on my stamp, but that is our panel thus far. And for this little piece here, I'm gonna see if I can clean this up. If you don't have a jelly roll pen, oh no, that just smeared it. If you don't have a jelly roll pen, I've used a chalk marker. Yeah, that just, I don't understand what's going on here. Make sure my brush tip is clean. Okay. Whew, saved it. That would have been a little bit of work to redo that. But as I was saying, like the chalk markers, I have this jumbo one and then this thin one here. And I believe these came together in a pack from Hobby Lobby. Now with the chalk markers, it can really mess up your paper, so be very careful. But I have used this time and time again, and this works, you know, pretty well, just as the jelly roll pens do. And I also have a white Sharpie pen as well. So just so you kind of know all the products that I use when I mess up. So now for the die cutting here, you put this candle back. Where is it? So we're gonna get the cupcake out, and I'm gonna bring in my mini die cutting machine and lock it to my glass mat. And let's get this cut out. And these do come in different colors. They have a full pink one now and a purple one. Okay. Very carefully remove that mint tape, and there is our little die cut piece. This is kind of where I'm headed. So let's think here. The ink blending with that line, that's basically like the horizon line, and I want my cupcake a little below that line. So it is not only interacting with the ink blending, but it's interacting with the white space, which makes the cupcake a little closer to the happy birthday. So everything is cohesive into like together, and just well balanced, if that makes sense. I need to get some glue. We can prop this up as well. Let me get my tweezers. So it looks really cute propped up. You know what I want to do first? Let's add some dimension to the panel, and then we will assess with the cupcake. So bringing in my card base here, and I already have it trimmed down. I just need to fold it. Okay, and this is an A2 size top folding card, which is, like I said in the beginning, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And this kind of side here is very, it's rough. I think I need to change my blade in one of my paper trimmers. What I can do is very carefully bring in my panel here. Well, I think I kind of cleaned it up. No, it needs to be trimmed down. And just very, very, very slight off of the edge. I mean, it is like a millimeter. And now we have a clean, crisp edge. Bringing my panel back in, I'm going to turn it over and apply some foam tape here, starting on the edge. Uh-oh, I just bent my panel. Oh my goodness. I was just making sure that it wasn't over the edge. I was trying to make sure that I didn't go a little, too far over. And bringing in my nonstick scissors and then trimming that down. This is the last bit of this foam tape that I found on sale. Well, not on sale actually, but inexpensive at Hobby Lobby. And I need to go back and get some more. Okay. And if the sound is a little weird, the AC keeps cutting on and off. So it makes this, it changes the sound on my camera. Okay, and last strip here. And the next roll that I buy, I will take note of the thickness because I love the thickness of this foam tape. Like I want to order a huge roll, but I don't know the thickness. So I need to go back to Hobby Lobby specifically so I can find out the thickness of that, because that is really what I am liking to build up my panels. Guess I'm just going to use my mint tape again to tape this down because my magnets are not on my desk at the moment. So let's move the mat up a bit so you can see. And make sure it's straight and trying to get equal margins. Okay, and let's just get that stuck down. And this is what we have so far. So now that margin is more visible to you. And I just love trimming my panel down to this size. I really like how this visually looks. And then now you can see the dimension. It's pretty significant. Alrighty, so now to prop up our cupcake or to glue it flat. And honestly, looking at this, I just don't really like it because it's smeared. All right, real fast, off camera, I'm gonna spray stamp this and color it and see if I can get a better look here. And if not, then I'm just gonna have to go with it. I know I'm my worst, my own worst critic, but I don't know. That is just, this little part up here at the swoop is just an eyesore to me. So let me go ahead and try to redo this and assess. So I colored it again. I did a little bit different this time with coloring. And there are some areas that could probably use some more blending, but I'm not going to add any more ink to this because for some reason it's just wanting to bleed. And I have no idea. If you know something that I don't, please let me know in the comments down below. That would be so helpful. Or even if you know of another ink that plays well with alcohol markers other than the Memento. I have recently been looking into Lawn Fawn's ink. But yeah, if you have any information, feedback, please let me know. I would greatly appreciate it. So this is the new one. And like I said before, we were going to determine on whether it needed to be raised or not. And I think it's just really, what do you want? It looks great both ways. I really like playing with dimension. And since the ink is so flat, why not just pop it up? Just do you. So I'm going to use my pop dots here from Dollar Tree. And I like just using a weeding tool to help remove them from their backer. And as you can see, I'm just outlining this so nothing gets bent, so the cupcake doesn't get bent along the edges, especially if, for storing purposes and mailing. I'm just making this card for fun today. I do not have a birthday person in mind, but I don't want anything to happen while I'm storing it, waiting to gift to somebody else. So yeah, going really happy with the pop dots there, but it is going to be really sturdy and substantial. You could also build it up with another layer of cardstock if you would like. but I am using 110 cardstock for this little guy here, so it is quite sturdy. Okay, finally removed all the backers. That is, I hate doing that. Okay, so making sure of placement here. I really want that cupcake aligned with the happy. Okay. All right, so now you can see the dimension on the panel and the dimension of the cupcake itself. How cute. Let me pull some embellishments and see if that can enhance this even more, and then we will be done for today. All right, so went with a classic dewdrop, so I'm not taking away from anything, and I'm using the smaller of the 4 sizes, and I just have one there, and then I was thinking about doing a trio down here. I know that typically an odd number is the best, but we have 4 right now. Okay, let me play with maybe one more. I guess we can just do another one up here for an odd number of 5. And that is, I think I need to move that a bit. All right, this is the finished card, everyone. Using an Amazon stamp and die set. I loved how this turned out. The only thing was the ink, the coloring with alcohol markers, but it is so cute. And love the dimension, and I'm glad that I decided to pop up the cupcake at the end. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate you guys more than I can put into words. If this was enjoyable to you, please give it a thumbs up. And I would love it if you subscribed if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.